In the past year, our country has united in a way that reminds the older generation of days gone by and inspired the younger generation to look to the past.
Do you have a newfound respect for older Americans who may have fought for this country way back before you were born? World War I, World War II. You hear your grandparents and older adults talk about fighting for their country, and it probably doesn't hit as home with you as much. But is it hitting more home with you? Do you understand a little bit more as to why that was so important and how maybe they've paved the way for you?
No, I think it's very important because one of my grandpas, he fought in World War II when he was only 17. He lied about his age so he could go defend our country on a ship. And I really respect that, and I think he did a great job. And just being in a war and seeing like all the tough times everyone's going through, I think that'd be really difficult. And they went through a lot.
Because of older people who fought in the war, something like this could have happened years ago and could have been even more devastating. And because of them, you know, maybe it didn't. And so, yeah, you do owe them a lot of respect for what they did.
I know that I had both my grandpas went and fought in World War II, and I know that since September 11th, it's really hit home, and I've had much more respect for them since then.
In light of what's happened, do any of you think about maybe that's something you may want to do in your future to join the military service and maybe fight for your country? Would it possibly mean more to you to do something like that?
I think it is a good thing to fight for your country, but I wouldn't do it.
I'd be horrible in any kind of army or war and all that. But I think there's so many other things that you can do just to help and support your country. It doesn't necessarily mean, joining the army, things like that.
I've always had a fascination with flying, and since September 11th, it's really made me want to join the Air Force and go out there and defend our country. I think it'd just be a great experience and a great opportunity to help my country.
Well, my dad's in the Navy, and he's retiring next year, but all my brothers and sisters want to be in the military to help fight for their country. But I don't think I'd be very good in the military. I don't think I'm strong enough to do that. But I'm very proud of my dad for joining the Navy and supporting our country.
Since September 11th, there's been a lot of information given to the public about the events that transpired. But have kids been told enough?
No, because they don't want kids to be scared, but kids will be scared if they don't know enough about it. Because if you get only a little clip of the information, then you'll probably worry a lot more about it.
For some kids, I don't think that they've learned enough about September 11th because some people don't want them to because they think they might be afraid, it might scare them.
Yes, I think the kids should be told about that and reminded because that was a big thing, and they need to know how sad that was, that had to happen just to have people know that God is still there and he wants to take care of them.
I think they should be told more about what happened.
Why?
Because we should know, and I think not that many kids know about what happened, and they should know so they can pray for those people who died.
While some people might think it's important to protect kids from information, fearing it might frighten or worry them, it's obvious most kids want to know about the events that shape our world. However, in a time when adults are searching for answers and reasons, is it possible for children to understand?
Not exactly, because there's things that we still don't understand, like why did they damage our country and what did we do wrong?
I want to learn a little bit more about why the terrorists had attacked. I know they attacked because they don't think that America should stand out like that. They think that pretty much we're pigs.
Well, overall, I think that it was just a tragedy, and I really wish it wouldn't have happened, but it did. And I think that we need to prove to the terrorists that they can't, hurt us. They can't do anything to us because we are stronger than them.
This is our first terrorist, well, I'm not going to say our first terrorist attack because we've had Pearl Harbor and this, but imagine countries like Israel, who go through this stuff every day. And I think that if we can move on, I think that will give strength to countries like that and show them that if we can, you can.
How do you think people in other countries see Americans? After 9/11, we did have a group of countries around the world rally around us, France, Canada, England. But there are other countries, people in other countries that don't exactly envy our lifestyle. How do you think people in general in other countries around the world view Americans?
Well, I know that some countries don't like Americans, but I think some of them are probably jealous of America because we have so much more than they do, and we get, the freedom of speech. We get to be so much more free, and the other countries don't get that kind of thing. So I think that some of them are probably jealous.
Some countries, see us as spoiled or, that we don't have the right beliefs. But I think it's mostly just because they don't know. They've been told one thing that, isn't true, but they just don't know. If they could come over here and see for themselves how Americans really are, they would think differently.
In other countries, well, some of them, they're not as family-like as we are. After September 11th, we became together, kind of. We have different nationalities and races and everything, and we have different beliefs, but after that, we're more as one. And I think that because of that, some of the other countries became kind of jealous, I guess you could say, or envious, because they don't have that. And that's what's special about America, and that's why they want to get here. I know I would.
I think that we can change their thoughts and ideas through charity and what we do for them, not necessarily like trying to make ourselves look better, but if we really mean what we're doing.
Do you think this generation has a lot of power to change things?
Yeah, I absolutely do. I mean, we have the power pretty much to do anything. I mean, that sounds so cliche, but we really do. And as long as we are showing things by our actions, then, we can do anything.
Do you think young people don't get enough credit for the kind of power they have and the opinions that they have? Do you think your opinions are taken seriously?
I think that our opinions sometimes are sort of pushed aside. They're not really looked upon just because of our age, but I think that our opinions really do matter and they should be taken seriously.
I think that they underestimate us because of how old we are, and they think that we're not mature enough as an adult because they have lived longer than us and experienced more things that we have. I think that they're just underestimating us.
Yeah, I think they are taken seriously because just like right now, we're speaking our opinions on September 11th, and our voices count.
I think the children now who have seen the things that are happening and have seen how America has come together, they will be more patriotic when they get older, and that will reflect on the next generation.